and you fought on Triller, and your pros, your pro career. Tell us all about you, bro.
Yeah, my name's Harry, the Hitman Gigliotti. I'm a boxer out of Haverhill, Massachusetts, training out of the Lawtown Boxing Gym in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I'm the current New England welterweight champion of the Merrimack Valley. I have an 8-3 professional career. I fought on the Canelo undercard, Triller's Triad Combat, and now I have a signed deal with Top Rank, and we're waiting on the logistics and everything with the opponent that that is currently assigned to this fight. But I'm weighing out my options, man. I got a ton of things coming up. I've been getting calls, for reality TV. I've been getting calls for, different forms of competition, whether it's bare knuckle, triad, boxing, or anything along that line. And, I'm weighing it out right now. I'm taking baby steps. The call that I just got, as and as I just spoke about a little earlier before the recording started, was it's big. It's a big fight. It's a big deal. It would be on the Richard Comey versus Joe Pedraza fight card, and it would be on ESPN Plus. So, the recognition and the build to my career is kind of set to this point where I've been training my ass off to get to this kind of fight deal. You know what I mean? Get to that big stage. With the Aponte fight, when I fought Aaron Aponte, I mean, that was the Canelo undercard, but that was on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, this is on ESPN Plus. This is paid subscription. It's huge. It's a huge opportunity, and I'm just excited to finally be able to showcase at more of a national stage on pay-per-view.
Amen, bro. Amen. So what basically got you into the sport of boxing?
So I started boxing when I was around 9 years old, like in and out of the gym. I wasn't like fighting or anything like that. And then around 14, I started taking it serious. It was when Mickey Ward came to my gym because he was training my cousin Jeff Fraser, that was on season 1 and 2 of The Contender. God rest his soul. And it's been running in my family. I mean, my grandfather was a boxer out of Lowell. My uncle was a boxer. My cousin Derek was a boxer. My cousin Jeffrey was a boxer. And I mean, now I'm a boxer. I fought in the Junior Olympics in New England for the novice when I was 15. I think that was 2020. I want to say 2012. And I won that year in the novice division, beating a kid out of Rhode Island. And ever since then, man, I grew from that, and I found a love and a passion for it. And it's always been something that I've watched when I was a kid, and my family and everything has kind of revolved around boxing and watching my cousin Jeffrey, whether it was his sports Nesson fights at the Hampton Beach Casino, fighting Paul Delgado, which later on that Paul Malignaggi actually fought him too. So I've been watching these guys, you know what I mean? That generation of boxing take off with it, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather Jr. I remember watching Floyd when he was pretty boy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then of course, Mike Tyson's last fight in 2005 with Kevin McBride, which Kevin's from Boston. So, there's a lot of relatively famous people in the area around me that I've watched my whole life. Around boxing and kind of that more mainstream style where a lot of these guys made it, you know what I mean? And that's what I've always kind of seen myself. I remember sitting at the Lowell Auditorium and watching kids at the Golden Gloves and being like, one day I want to be here and I want to be on that stage. And then I fought there in 2013 and I placed second place. And then, thinking like, oh, this is probably the biggest stage I'll ever get to. And then years later, I'm at the Miami Garden fighting in the Dolphin Stadium against, a 15-time national prospect. So it's just kind of been, as surreal as it gets. And it gets realer and realer as time goes on. And, now I'm a New England title holder, and I've created history in a whole new combat sport. And, to think that I've shared stages with, Kubrat Pulev and a lot of big names such as like Shannon Briggs is my coach, you know, even Rampage Jackson on the MMA side. It's just it's unreal, man. I mean, I fought on the Canelo undercard. I mean, that was pretty unreal too. Seeing Canelo, you know, Ryan Garcia was there. It's like these are the guys that you see on TV, and then you know now I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm matching that ability. You know what I mean, to be on that national stage. So it's just it's surreal, man. It gets realer and realer as time goes on, and I'm just grateful all around to be in the sport and you know, be a part of history.
Hell yeah, bro. And I bet it's like it's surreal, like you said, and it's just a dream. And
Absolutely, bro.
do you have a favorite fighter growing up?
I love the Toro Gotti. I love the Mickey Ward Toro Gotti fights. As you know, it was like a fucking clash of titans right there, just going at it. But yeah, my cousin Jeffrey was like my biggest icon. That's like really, really what made me focus on where I wanted to be in the sport. And I still carry him with me in the ring. And I don't know, Mike Tyson's just been one of my favorites too. That peekaboo style before Loma even before people even noticed what that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson was a different breed. And maybe he didn't really, you know, hang with some of the best, like Buster Douglas and Lennox and them. But I mean, rising up from when he was like 18 years old as like the youngest champion and all that. I don't know. I love Mike Tyson. I love his story. I love his personality. I love the character. And that's always been one of my favorite fighters for sure.
Oh yeah, bro. And it's
I
been
got I got a couple though. I got a couple. You know what I mean? I love Sugar Ray Leonard. I like looking back at like Willie Pep and Sugar Ray Robinson and even Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? I love Muhammad Ali. I like the float style. I even try to impersonate it sometimes in the ring, floating on my toes, popping a jab, keeping my distance. You know what I mean? Especially when you're fighting the smaller guys that want to try to work inside, and you're keeping that outside distance, and you're controlling the distance with the jab and moving your feet.
Yep. Hell yeah, bro. And that's good to know, bro, because like, you know, not a lot of people can mimic it and they get the little spurts of times that I see boxers that are mimicking Muhammad Ali and just like his grandson Nico. Um he's he's been really close at doing those little moves. And you know, talk about, you know, your boxing career so far. How do you feel where you're at on the level?
Um, Obviously I had the three losses, so I sadly didn't get like the Floyd Mayweather career, but you know, I never really, you know, sought out to think that it was gonna be that. You know what I mean? Like I never really cared to say that I was gonna have a perfect record or I'm gonna be this perfect boxer. You know, I make mistakes in the ring all the time, like I make mistakes in reality. You know what I mean? And it's whether you want to get back in the gym and you want to fix those mistakes and you know, grow from it and learn from it. Um, so I think the biggest thing for me right now is, you know, I've never really padded my record. I mean, my second fight, I fought someone that literally was fighting for a New Hampshire state title within like his third or fourth fight. And I mean, the guy was like a nationally ranked Taekwondo fighter and had a very unorthodox, awkward style. Shout out Chris Jacobs. He's a hell of a fighter. And then obviously, you know, I went up and fought, you know, I fought at 147, which I was actually wanted to fight at 140, but I fought a lot of bigger guys. And then I got down to 140 and I fought Aaron Aponte on the Canelo undercard. And I mean, I think that was my seventh fight. I mean, that was a big jump up. You know what I mean? That kid's had more pedigree than anybody in New England, probably realistically. The kid's, I mean, 15-time national champion, I believe was the Olympic qualifier for Argentina, which is huge. And then COVID hit, so I don't think he fell through with that. But yeah, man, I've had a ton of experience on the bigger stage. I think out of New England, more people are still trying to build that perfect record, and I don't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? I got the experience I needed, and I kind of got that rust scraped off where it's like, okay, yeah, my amateur career was like 4-7. You know what I mean? And I fought all the tough guys in New England. I never took a step back. I jumped into tournaments. I jumped in to the ring on just local club shows, and just always went for the big guys. You know what I mean? Always went for the tougher kids in the area. Because that's where you learn. That's where you're going to learn where you're going to make your mistakes and where you can perfect your mistakes. And then when you get to that professional level, you know, you've already had that experience. So I've just kind of, you know, never really, like, everybody wants to have the Floyd Mayweather career, and it's just it's padding your record and all that shit and the business side. But, you know, when it comes to the A side, B side, and then like it's like a 50-50 split,
Mhm.
I've went in as a B side. I mean, Aaron Aponte, I practically had to kill the kid. Bang Williams, I practically had to kill the kid to win. I thought I beat Bang. You know, I thought I just snitched it. I don't know if you saw that fight, but it was a hell of a fight. And you know, if I didn't take the knee from the body shot that he had hit me with when we were both working inside, I don't even think they could have. I don't even think they could have given a majority. I think it would have been a unanimous decision because on that round that I took the knee, I was up 10-9. And then, yeah, so it was a 10-9 round. And then it ended up being, I believe, a 10-8 from the knee, or a 9 or some along the lines. I know it was like a
Pretty close.
majority decision.
It
It
was
was
a
very, I was winning the round up until that point. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
which means that the scorecards didn't really make sense to me at the end of that fight. I feel like with him being in his commission and his state of Florida, they niched it and they gave it to him. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's part of the sport. It's political. That's how the game goes. Um, I don't know though, man. I'd love to get that rematch down the line too. And you know, after my next fight, um, I've been told I'm going to be able to do some good call outs, especially if I win this or I take this to a draw, which a lot of people are counting me out. I mean, I'm far from a bomber. I'm far from a gatekeeper, journeyman. I look at myself as a contender. You know what I mean? I look at myself as not an opponent. I'm a real dude. I'm not there to lay down. And you know, my opponent's in for a shock of trouble if he thinks this is going to be a walk in the park.
Hell yeah, bro. Shit, I feel the electricity in you, bro, and I know you're ready to go box. And talk about fighting on Triller. How was that experience compared to
That
like
was. I got the gloves. You want to see them?
yeah.
These are the first ever Triller Triad gloves right here, brother.
And
They're the turtleback gloves. They're the MMA style sparring gloves, but they're 7 ounce. And dude, it's different. It's different. Getting hit with them is different. The grappling side of the sport was different, but I had been working with a lot of Muay Thai guys and circulating around that kind of camp where if I was to get into the clinch, I knew how to work in the clinch. Um, and then my whole life I did an MMA fight on 5 days notice against a really big prospect, Tom Pagarulo. I got choked out in the second round, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing when it came to like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But I had enough um, experience, I thought, that to take this triad fight, that if I was to get into the clinch, that I knew how to like kind of hip toss, and I knew how to do just natural things that you could learn with like the basics of wrestling and the basics of Muay Thai style boxing. So I don't know. It was a really cool experience. Jacob Thrall is a hell of a fighter. That kid has a lot of amateur pedigree in MMA, and also I believe he was an MMA champion. I believe professionally, I think he's the Missouri champ. I believe something along the lines of that. So I never took an easy fight. The last year I fought Bang, Brandon Higgins, and Jacob Thrall. You know what I mean? And then I had one padded up fight with the kid that actually gives a lot of people trouble. I can't think of his name, some Brazilian kid. But I just didn't really take an easy year. You know what I mean? I didn't really give myself a break. And look at right now, my first fight back since last year, I'm jumping in with an Olympian, which I'm not going to say the name until it's announced. But
yeah.
I mean, it's the real deal. It's definitely getting surreal, and to think that a lot of people get these calls. A lot of people don't get these calls.
Yeah.
I got the call because I think they realize that they want a challenge. This is a real fight. It's just at his level where it's like not going to give him probably too much trouble, but I mean that's what he thinks. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing right now, and I know who I'm getting it in with right now, and everybody I've sparred with has been on the national stage in amateurs wise. I mean, like Friday, I'm sparring Adrian Kennedy. That kid's going to nationals in a couple of weeks. He's the all New England champ. He just won the regionals. So, I'm not selling myself short. Everybody I'm working with right now can bang and they can box. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's just there's levels to it, and I'm making sure that I keep myself on that level that prepares me for this fight.
For real, for real. And man, it's been exciting, bro, to hear from you finally, getting
For sure,
on
brother.
the
For
channel.
sure.
And what's your all-time goal in the sport of boxing? What do you want to be remembered as?
I'd like to see a world title shot. I'd like to at least have a continental title if I don't get to that world title shot. And I know I will. I definitely will see like a NABA or some form of NABA, NABO title. I'm definite on that. But I would like to see like a WBO, WBA, WBC. If I was gonna go for anyone along that lines, I'd try to get Ryan Garcia. I think that's like the easiest and can kind of match my style. Devin Haney's a little bit too crafty, but I mean, he's chinny. Lanier's kind of created the blueprint where to catch him on. And then Giravante's a fucking powerhouse. So
Yeah.
I'd make sure I had, that'd be probably my last fight if that was gonna be anything, you know what I mean? But I after this, I'd like to see where I stand at the welterweight division again, and maybe fight someone like Mario Barrios or something like that along the lines. More of the gatekeeper, which he's not a gatekeeper; he's a contender. That kid's tough as hell, but that's kind of where they're leaning him at. You know what I mean? But I think that kid's great. I think Rashidi Ellis and him would be a great fight. And I've had sparring with Rashidi Ellis. I'm actually trying to plan that right now for my camp because he just got a first round knockout on Showtime over the last weekend. And there's a lot of people in my area that I'm trying to get work in. And my buddy Victor Reynoso is coming back soon. I did camp with him with Lennox Lewis and Stolterini in Toronto back in March. And he's a 2-time Olympic trialist. So, I mean, he's been in camp with Boo Boo Andre and all them. So, I'm just trying to get the best people in my camp that, can circulate around my next opponent and give me that leverage. You know what I mean? Give me that step up where, I've been in the ring with these guys. I got, over 100 plus rounds of sparring just with some great fighters and just prepare me for this. You know what I mean? Preparation's key. Strength, cardio, all that. So I feel great. I think this is probably one of the strongest I've felt right now at 145. I mean, I'm literally like 3 pounds away from being on fight weight. So I think that's big. I think that's huge. You know what I mean? I feel really strong, and I'm kind of just easing into to getting ready for this fight. And I'm not really having to do a huge weight cut. When I fought Bang, I had to get to 135, and that was like a pain in the ass. I was wicked dead, drained. But I feel good. I feel rehydrated. I feel strong right now. And I think the key to it is feeling good and feeling prepared. So I gave myself enough time. I had a nice 9-week camp, and we're 7 weeks out right now. So it's just it's getting surreal. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity for sure.
For real, for real. Shoot, I'm excited. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yes,
And
sir.
let my subscribers know where they can find you at.
Yeah, you guys can find me on all social media platforms. The Hitman Gigliotti. I believe the Hitman Harry on my Twitter. And then if you guys want to follow, keep up to date on my personal page with Facebook, Harry Gigliotti. But the biggest thing is TikTok and Instagram for me right now. I've been doing a lot of different things like that with whether I've been blogging, vlogging, and posting, and just keeping up to date with everything. You know what I mean? So, follow me on all social media platforms, and I'll keep everyone updated.
Amen. Amen. Shoot, it's been an honor, bro. Thank you for coming back on my channel.
Yes, sir.
Finally getting
finally. We've been waiting on this. This has been like a year and a half in the making, right? Something along the lines of that.
For real. Yeah. For real.
And I got my Carlito shirt. Everybody make sure you get your Carlito boxing shirt. We're repping the brand out here. My dude's putting it on. Shout out Massachusetts, shout out Texas. My dude's putting it on for everybody. And this gives a lot of fighters and a lot of people in the entertainment industry an opportunity to speak out, on their behalf and also introduce themselves. So, you know, what you do is cool, Carlito. I fuck with that pretty heavy, brother. And you know,
Appreciate
God bless you, bro. You a real one for sure, bro.
I appreciate you, brother.